So here's a few bits that I've laid out for you to see that I'm going to start bolting back onto the rear beam. So we've got freshly refurbished shocks and re-stickered up. I've had the hubs, they've been powder coated so they're not going to rust. I've got the rear brackets, these have been shot blasted and powder coated so they're going to look nice, they're going to match the beam. We've got brand new rear brake lines, so the old ones were quite corroded and I don't really want to put them back on. The iron brackets for the rear brakes, they've been powder coated, so it's going to look quite nice when it's back together. So here's a little clip for you that's really boring, you don't get to see, is just things like painting bolt heads. No one wants to put on a rusty bolt, so every bolt gets refurbished, or if I can I'll buy it brand new if they're not in good condition. Yeah, as I say, can't be putting them back on. Right, so we've started assembly now. We've got the rear beam on. I've just put the new springs in. We've got the new arch liners in. It's looking quite clean now. So I'm going to start bolting the hubs together, get the shocks on, brake lines and everything else. And I'm going to show you through that. So here's a little tip for you. Whenever you're putting the bolts back, especially in the fine threaded bolts like this, in places that are going to get corroded, always use a bit of copper grease and it'll make it a lot easier to remove in the future without stripping the threads. So it's the fun part. Starting to look good now with all the bits going on. Nice refurb shocks, the powder coated hubs, should last for a while. I love the contrast of the black between the red. So now I've got to start making up the brake lines, start getting the ABS cables on, and I'm going to start assembling all that now. So I think you agree, it's started to look very good. I love the contrast between the black and the red. The hubs, everything's looking great, all powder coated. Nice fresh poly bushes. I'll show you underneath when it's all done. So now it's time to assemble the brakes. I'm going to make up the new brake lines because you see they were corroded. Fit all the new ABS cables. I've got some brake clips that are coming from GM, but they ain't here yet. So it's cold, it's winter, but we're getting it done. And a lot of people were moaning about their projects, it's too cold or whatever, but it's never going to be ready for spring if you don't get out there and get it done now. Right, so you remember that manky old brake line from a previous video? I've just got around to replicating it out of nice fresh copper line. So it was a very complicated design because it not only has bends up and down, left and right, so a bend will go, as you can see, they're never straight, none of them. So the only way to really get bends like that without kinking the copper pipe is to use a heat gun, because if you don't use a heat gun, then you're going to kink the copper pipes on the bends and you're never going to be able to follow the lines. So obviously I've left this end longer because I want to trim it when it's on the car. I've got new lines for it, obviously using new fittings, and just flared the ends. As you can see, I'll do a video in the future of how to build these lines from scratch, and you'll see a lot clearer. But I just wanted to show you, nice fresh line going to go on. Get rid of this rusty cruddy thing that's on there. See how nasty that is. So these are the caliper brackets. When I bought these calipers they were silver, so I gave them a quick lick of 2K spray paint. What I wanted to show you is when I strip them down, I always re-grease the slider holes with a good molly grease. It's the same stuff you use to lubricate your CV joints, because I always find, where are they? These pins that go in here, they never grease them up enough. As you can see, there's hardly any grease on them at all, and that's what leads to these calipers seizing up in the future. So always just give yourself a little bit more molly grease on the pins, and they'll keep a lot longer and not get sticky calipers that the Mark IVs always tend to suffer with. So obviously during this restoration I've been doing a lot of cleaning parts, painting parts, powder coating parts. It's a good idea to always chase the threads of the parts that you're bolting up to the car that have just been powder coated, because if you start putting bolts in without cleaning the threads out, you're going to strip the bolts and you're going to have a nightmare. So get yourself one of these, so they're not dear. I've also got, where is it? This one here. This is the thread to clean out the blocks on the Z20LET head bolts. It's a really hard one to get. I had to get this one from Germany, but it's always worth getting these to clean out any of the threads. I do it when I'm doing my engine builds. Every single thread in the block gets chased, and yeah, it's just a good idea to get yourself a set. Also, you can't beat a good cup of tea on a cold night. So last night I put a big effort in under here to get all pretty much finished. Just got to put the exhaust on. You can see how nice she's coming out. So give you a quick run through. So we've got the like the brand new brake lines, new calipers, new ABS cables. You can see the fresh new brake line going over the rear beam. Obviously the new poly bushes. So literally everything that I could replace has been replaced. I'll dig out the old hubs and that so you can see them. And I think you agree how nice it's come out under here. So I love the minimalistic approach, especially without the wheel well. So I just wanted to remind you from previous videos what come off the car. So you remember these crusty brake calipers, look at the state of them. Brake discs didn't look like they've been changed in about 10 years. Crusty old hubs, nasty. So yeah, so you compare them, that's how it looks now. Hopefully I've got a before and after picture. So I think you agree. She's looking pretty good up here now. Some nice close-ups. You can see all the how clean it's looking. She's looking pretty damn good now. A hell of a lot better than she did. So I'll just run you through. Got brand new brake calipers, brand new rear brake lines, new springs. The shocks have been refurbished. Rear beams been refurbished. Brand new brake lines on the back. ABS cables, polybush rear beam. All the brackets have been powder coated. So we've got brand new arch liners. As you see in the other videos. So yeah, I mean, look at her under here. It looks cleaner under here than it does on outside the car now. I think you agree. She's looking pretty damn good. So you join me back here after a long night of getting this rear end back together. It's Saturday, so I thought last night, Friday night, it was freezing cold out here and dark, but lit it all up and got it done. There's no excuses, is there, really? So you can see, I think you'd be pretty pleased with that. It's pretty damn clean. So I'm going to give you a rundown of all the bits that I've replaced. You can see most of them. But yeah, I'm pretty happy with how she's come out. So, who remembers the old tank cover? I think most of the Astras have got a tank cover looking like that now. So I couldn't have that in my car. If you want to know the part number for these tank covers, I found it on the OPC catalogue, and that's where I got my one from. So just drop us a message and I'll send you over. So I just wanted to show you all the rusty scrap parts that have come off the car that I've replaced. Tons of hubs. See the cover, complete fuel tank, all the fuel lines, the drive shafts, brake lines, you know, arch liners, steering rack, tank brackets. So it's all been done thoroughly. So I thought I'd chuck on one of my Team Ds that I've got. I think the black looks amazing with the red. Obviously I'm going to still put a set of snowflakes on, but just gives other options. The car's down on the ground. I thought I'd give you a little look around it. So I've got the exhaust back box on. And I'm going to start messing around with wheel fitment now. See what you guys think. If you want to check out my Instagram, I'll have all my pictures on there that I'll put up. So get on my Instagram. So I've got to say, I do love the snowflakes, especially in this colour. The video don't really do the colour that much justice, but it's such a shiny silver, proper like a chrome, and it goes really, really well with the car. So I think, yeah, I will stick to these wheels for a bit. As I say, drop us a comment if you think that I should go with some different wheels, and what wheels you think would suit the car. Obviously they've got to be in the Opel fitment. So what I might do in the next video is I might give you a quick rundown of the engine and everything I've done with building that. Everything was replaced when I built that engine. I had like literally 60 odd bolts from GM, all shipped in from all over the place. So guys, what do you think of the progress so far? I think it's coming along pretty good. I think the car's coming looking pretty clean. I'm liking the black Team Ds, but I think I'm going to keep the snowflakes on for now. If you've got any other suggestions for wheels, I'm thinking some really nice bright shiny wheels, almost like a show car wheel rather than a Team D, which is like a race car. But yeah, if you got any suggestions for some videos you want to see, obviously I'm going to keep progressing with this one and all the rest of the cars I've got. So yeah, I appreciate you viewing, and if you're new to the channel, drop us a subscribe.